I need to borrow your car right quick.
What kind of shit is that? Most people want to borrow sugar, or even ketchup. You want to borrow my car? Hell no.
Ice Cube sat across from Warner Brothers executives in 2023, fighting for a movie they owned on paper, but never in spirit. Friday wasn't just a comedy, it was culture. And for 20 years, it was frozen in a quiet power struggle fans never saw. But that's only the surface. The real story starts earlier, when filming in the wrong neighborhood meant real danger, when casting choices were made over spaghetti and survival instincts, and when brotherhoods cracked under fame and money. This isn't a feel-good Hollywood tale. It's about risk, loss, and respect. And after 3 decades of silence, setbacks, and stubborn pride, this is why one final chapter is finally about to be told. In the early 1990s, Ice Cube was angry. Not the performative anger of a rapper playing a character. This was deep, personal frustration. Every film about black neighborhoods in Los Angeles told the same story. Boys in the hood, menace to society, colors, violence, gangs, death, despair. Cube had even starred in Boys in the Hood, so he understood that world intimately. But here's what ate at him. Where were the stories about laughter? Where were the memories of summer days hanging out with friends, talking trash, playing dominoes, just enjoying life? He and his writing partner, DJ Pooh, remembered their childhoods in South Central differently than Hollywood portrayed it. Sure, there was struggle, but there was also joy, humor, and community. They wanted to show the world that you could live in the hood and still have a good day. So Friday wasn't born as a comedy pitch, it was born as a statement, a middle finger to everyone who thought they knew what life in South Central was really like. But when Cube announced he wanted to make a comedy, even his own crew thought he'd lost his mind. This was the hardcore rapper from NWA, the man behind politically charged albums like America's Most Wanted and Death Certificate. When he released the song It Was a Good Day, people in his camp questioned why a hardcore rapper was talking about good days at all. His response silenced the critics. I'm a reality rapper, and reality includes good days too. Here's something that sounds insane, but it's 100% real. Ice Cube and DJ Pooh were ready to fund Friday entirely on credit cards. No studios, no safety net, just plastic and belief. They studied how Robert Townsend maxed out cards to make Hollywood shuffle. They watched how Kevin Smith shot Clerks for almost nothing. One location, small cast, bare bones crew. At one point, they even considered filming Friday in black and white to save on film and lighting. Imagine that version of Friday. Comedy history and culture itself would look completely different. For weeks, this was the plan. 2 guys from South Central betting everything on a script Hollywood didn't want. Then New Line Cinema called, and the executive who took the pitch, Mike DeLuca. Remember that name. In 1995, DeLuca was a young risk-taker. He greenlit Friday on a tiny budget. Some say $2.3 million, others $3.5 million. Even Ice Cube admits nobody was keeping perfect records. They were too busy making history. They had 20 days to shoot, 0 room for mistakes, and a 26-year-old first-time feature director named F. Gary Gray, already a music video legend, about to change movies. Most people think Friday was just Ice Cube's breakout as a comedy star. What they don't realize, it launched one of Hollywood's most successful directors. Gray would go on to direct The Italian Job, Straight Outta Compton, and The Fate of the Furious, which made him the first African-American director to gross over $1 billion at the box office. In 2019, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But in 1995, he was an unproven kid with a music video resume, trying to shoot a comedy in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Los Angeles. And that's where things got terrifying. The filming location was 126th Street between Haledale and Normandy in South Central Los Angeles, deep in Crips territory. The entire cast and crew were banned from wearing red clothing. One wrong color choice could spark violence. But the biggest threat wasn't gang violence, It was the neighborhood itself. Two local residents refused to move out of a flashback shot, even when offered money and walk-on roles in the film. F. Gary Gray had no choice. You can still see them in the background of the Hector flashback scene, two men sitting on a wall who refused to leave. Then there was the drunk neighbor. Every time Gray called action, the man would belt out Al Green songs off-key at the top of his lungs. When the crew begged him to stop, he shouted, "This ain't no real movie anyway. Y'all can't film no real movie in this neighborhood." Gray had to time takes between the man's drunken singing. Every frame of Friday was a fight, not just creatively, but literally. And then there was the casting disaster that nearly killed the movie. Ice Cube spotted him first, a young comedian from Atlanta lighting up Def Comedy Jam with wild, unpredictable energy. Street grit mixed with pure comedy instinct. His name was Chris Tucker. Broke, hungry, and relentless, Tucker had come to LA in 1990 chasing a dream and building buzz with that unmistakable voice and manic style. Cube knew instantly this was the guy. Then came the audition, and it bombed. Tucker was exhausted, underprepared, completely off his rhythm. Most actors would have been cut on the spot. One shot, game over. But F. Gary Gray saw past the stumble. Beneath the fatigue was raw brilliance. He fought for Tucker, demanded one more chance, and that decision changed comedy history forever. Then, an unlikely hero stepped in. Angela Means had just been cast as Felicia. She watched Chris Tucker struggling with the material and made a decision that would alter film history. She invited him to her house for dinner. According to Faison Love, who played Big Worm, Tucker was terrified. He was worried that bigger stars like Dave Chappelle or D.L. Hewley would swoop in and steal the role. Angela Means spent the entire evening working with him. They went through scenes together. She helped him understand the rhythm of the dialogue, the soul of the character, the world they were creating. By the time the spaghetti was gone, Chris Tucker was Smokey. He went back for his second audition and destroyed it. One of the greatest comedic performances of the 90s was born over spaghetti in someone's kitchen. John Witherspoon, the late great comedian, once revealed a surprising truth about the making of the cult classic film Friday. According to him, the main cast members were each paid only about $5,000 for their roles. That modest paycheck stood in sharp contrast to the movie's eventual success, as Friday went on to earn more than $27 million at the box office and became one of the most beloved comedies of the 1990s. Among those actors was a young Regina King, who played Dana, the sister of Craig. At the time, Regina King was already a familiar face on television, having begun her career at just 14 years old on the hit sitcom 227, where she portrayed Brenda Jenkins from 1985 to 1990. Ice Cube personally cast her in Friday after they built a friendship while working on John Singleton's films, such as Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, and Higher Learning. Although her role in Friday was relatively small, it gave Regina King a chance to display her natural comedic timing and step beyond the dramatic roles she was known for. The film itself grew into a cultural phenomenon, launching and strengthening several careers, including hers. 23 years later, Regina King stood on the Oscar stage holding the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for If Beale Street Could Talk. She would go on to collect 4 Emmy Awards, becoming one of the most respected performers of her generation. From a $5,000 paycheck to Hollywood's highest honors, her journey shows how humble beginnings and powerful opportunities can create a lasting, legendary legacy. But while careers blossomed, Ice Cube was fighting a different war. For 20 years, fans begged for one last Friday. The project wasn't delayed, it was trapped. Warner Brothers owned the rights, and Cube refused to give up creative control of his own legacy. Then, in 2024, everything shifted. Mike DeLuca, the executive who believed in Friday back in 1995, returned to power. By March 2025, Richard Brenner confirmed the deal was done. Now, one question remains. Will Smokey return? After 30 years, one final good day is coming. Like, share, and subscribe if you're ready for the last Friday. Thanks for watching.